What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me for another Google Hangouts RPS Dent Digest live show. I do have a special guest today. His name's Aaron from Dr. Dents out of Pennsylvania. What's going on, man? How are you?
Living the dream, baby, every day.
Yeah?
Every day.
So I'm going to do a little recap on the stuff we did last week with Paul Corden. A really good show, some really good information on some different ways of estimating the larger hail damage. It was really informative for me just because there's some stuff that I've never, I see some of the bigger damage and I've never had that issue of really making the extra money on the larger damage like he was. The way that he was doing it was really, really a great idea.
Right.
Um, he, I'm going to give it a whirl. We're going to have to see what if it works in my area with the adjusters, if it doesn't work. So we're gonna have to give that a whirl. But it was some definitely some good info. I couldn't be happier with having Paul on here, even though we had some technical difficulty, but that happens with a live show. So let's get into your story a little bit, Aaron. Kind of give me the rundown on how long you've been kind of in the industry, how you got started, how everything's gone, up to this point. So let's start at day one. How did you find out about paintless dent repair and start to, get some interest on it?
All right. So day one, um, a guy from my church, who owns the business, who owns Dr. Dent, his name's Silas. Phenomenal guy. I mean, really, really, he's a father figure to me. In all honesty. Um, and at first, he was just doing the typical touch up and bumper work. You know what I mean? And there was this he's known about dents. He knew about dents for a long time, PDR, all that. Because I mean, obviously, you're on the lot just like the other guy. You know what I mean? Like you see him, you bump into him, you either work on the same car, kind of thing. Um, but he wanted to. Whenever he went to school, he wanted to make sure he went to the best training he could possibly get. He didn't want to cut corners. He didn't want to cut any corners or anything like that. And so what he did was he waited, and I mean, like, he was wanting to do this for years upon years upon years, and he didn't have, number one, the right guy that he wanted to take, and then number two, um, he wasn't 100% sure on where he wanted to go. And so he decided to go to a place out in California, and the teaching there is phenomenal. um, and so essentially, what he did was he started by he gave me a job. He knew I love cars, things like that. I mean, I really
What
enjoy cars.
what were you doing before then?
Working construction.
Hey, there's nothing to laugh about that. That's some ball buster work, I mean,
Well,
that's some serious stuff.
I'm born and raised on a farm, and so hustle and hard work is like the back of my hand kind of thing. So I mean, it's nothing for me. And whenever I was working construction, this guy saw that, and they wanted me to be there and stay there forever because I would work. I will. My saying is um, I may not be able to do the best for everybody at that time, but I will outwork anybody, kind of thing.
Okay,
That's my goal.
that's good.
Um, and so that's essentially my drive. But yeah, so I was doing construction. My dad was a union electrician, and so like I could wire a whole house up, everything like that. And so that kind of led me into construction. It was good money, but you were working like crazy, and at the same time, I mean, you were horrible hours, and I
Yeah.
mean, you hurt whenever you were done, and I mean hurt. Um, and I was like 16, 17 years old, and so like it was rough. um but yeah, I mean, I was really unsure about this. I was like, dude, I don't know about this. I don't know, like, how much money is into this, blah 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 blah. But I knew I didn't want to go to college because I'm a hands-on learner. I mean, like, you teach me, you put me with somebody who knows what they're doing, and it's a hand-on kind of thing, and I just get to watch you, I can pick things up so fast that it's like nothing. Um,
Yeah.
and so I like I said, so he decided he's like, all right, you're the guy I want to take. Let's go out to school. And so we went out to school, and we went to school. We were out there for 2 weeks, and then I mean it
So
was
so where did you go to school?
so Top Gun in California.
Marty.
My
Did
man
that.
Marty.
Did
Marty
that.
is Marty is like he's able to break things down so well. It's awesome. And plus he only trains with two guys.
Mhm.
And so that was a real big selling point for us, because when it was just us two, and instead of separating a whole bunch of other guys,
Of course, you're getting more hands-on, hands to hands training,
right,
one-on-one.
right. Um, so there was that, and like I said, he was just able to break everything down, and his practice program on top of that after you went home was a really big thing too, because that's where a lot of guys uh, stop. That's where a lot of
Mhm.
guys lose it. I mean, I've had guys text me saying after I did that one post where I've only been in this for, I mean, it's going on a year and a half, and I'm able to take on things that a lot of guys that I'm competing against won't even touch. Um,
Well,
because
I think a lot of it in this industry is what your drive. You know what I mean? You have to have the drive and you have to have the will to
Mhm.
really put the extra time in. I have Shane. I'm all the time. I'm like, get out there on a Sunday for 20 minutes.
Yep.
Just grind it out. Just that little bit of extra time. I know it stinks. We're all working all day long, and you come home and you just want to relax. But I really feel in this industry that extra time is what's going to get you over that hump.
Right.
I've had conversations with Mike Toledo and Mike Seawald and a lot of these guys that train. And the good thing in the industry right now is a lot of you younger guys have the advantage because there's technology out there that we didn't have when I started. I never had ratcheting handle tools and stuff that there's out. You wouldn't believe. Next week I'm going to bring one of the tools that I had that I learned on, and you guys are going to be like, "What is this thing?" So, and the information that's out there, there's shows like this, other shows out there that give really good information. MTE, that's a really good networking for younger guys to kind of meet each other and get out there and just, if you have an issue on something, you call Shane or you call me, or that stuff was never there. When I started, it was legitimately you were hidden.
Yeah.
You really didn't want to tell anybody your secrets and the information's out there.
Oh,
Dent
for
Trainer's
sure.
a great source. It's a great
Abs-
source of information.
Absolutely.
So
But yeah,
go to where you are.
it so I mean, yeah, so we went to school out there for 2 weeks. After that, we had 2 month practice program that we had to do. And man, we were religious about it. I mean hardcore. Like we were out there at 12 in the morning, in Silas's garage, and we were out there. And what we did is that we did the practice program together. And so with that, we were able to essentially compete the whole time in school and the whole time while practicing.
See that I think when you learn faster when you have that little competition.
A hundred
When
percent.
you're like, man, he's doing better than me, or
Yeah.
man,
Yep.
how is he doing that? And then you two can talk sometimes too. You can
Oh
say,
yeah.
well, I'm doing it this way, or
Yep.
so it's
And I can honestly say I remember times where so what we did was that we had to do 2 hours, and so 1 hour on a door and 1 hour on a hood. And I could honestly say that Silas would be over there on a hood, and he'd be doing dents, and what we would do is we would circle them. So the ones that he would do, he would put his initials, and the ones that I did, I put my initials. And same thing on the door, same thing on the hood. And so it was tough, because the thing about it is that you never look at the guy and say, "Oh my gosh, your stuff's way better than mine." You just see it right there. You see
Oh
it right
man.
there, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, like he's doing the same size of dent that I am, and I can't have him one up me." I'm like, "No, come on, focus," and like you just grind,
Yeah.
and it was good because after we got over the hump of after we got over the hump of like the oh no, you need to do it like this, or why is mine turning out better than yours kind of thing, then we started being like, okay, hey, hey man, this works really well like this or that, and this leverage point's better here, like, oh wow. And then it got to a point for me, I was hungry after I got to where I was glassing things out. And I mean, what we did is we took a golf ball and we put a screw in the end of it, and then
Hmm.
we would put it on the hood, and I mean we would crack it, and we would start low or start real soft and then build up from there. Um, and so after I was doing like number fives, where I mean these things are like golf ball hail stuff,
Yeah.
nasty. After you're able to glass those out, you're walking around chest puffed out, like, yeah, man, this is awesome.
I got this. This is easy.
Right? This is easy. This is
Hmm.
nothing. I don't have to. I don't have to. Like I'm gonna be able to blow these guys out of the water, right?
Yeah.
Um, but then I went out on my lot the first day. It was the roughest, longest day I ever had in PDR, like for real. Um,
What was your struggles? So go over your first day.
so number one, I'm a big salesman. That comes naturally to me, and I mean, I can sell you just about anything. So I get there, and the guy's like, he was telling us, hey, I really need a PDR guy. I really need a PDR guy. And so I'm like, all right, I have had big shoes to fill here. So I gotta show this guy that I know what I'm doing, right? And so I walk in there and I said, hi, my name's Aaron with Dr. Dent, blah 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 blah, all that. And he's like, all right, hey, I have a couple cars for you. Let's go take a look at them. And we're looking at him, and he's like, "You think you can handle this?" And I look at it, and I didn't do salt. I didn't put a door wedge in. I didn't do any of that. Anything that I just learned at training, nothing, gone.
Yeah.
And I get there because I'm so nervous and I'm so pumped at the same time. And I get the car over in the garage because at that time I wasn't ready for like a reflection board, because a reflection board is a little bit tougher to use compared to like a fog kind of thing. I get in the garage and I put the light on it and I put my door tool down in there, and boom, there's a brace. My heart dropped, and I'm like, all right, I'll glue pull this. And I didn't check to see if the panel was repainted or anything like that. I slap a glue tab on there, boom, pull paint. My first car that I did, and my heart dropped. I'm sweating. I'm almost in tears. Like this guy's gonna lay into
Hmm.
me, and I'm gonna have to repaint this whole thing. Like screw this PDR thing. I quit. I'm done. But I mean, he came out and he's like, no, no, no problem. He like nicest guy ever. And I'm thinking to myself, why is this guy not laying into me? Like it was crazy. Then he gave me another one, and I did a good job on that. It was easy. It was a simple door ding. I mean, access was perfect. I mean, you couldn't get any better. Um, and I glass it out, no problem. And then after that, it was to a point to where I didn't have enough PDR um, accounts because we were still so young,
Of
and
course.
the market was so saturated that we were a nobody. Nobody knew us. Everybody knew us for like our bumpers and our touch ups. Um,
So
and so
explain that your business does more than just dent repair.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we do bumpers. We paint bumpers. We do touch ups, and we do headlight removal or headlight refinishing. We do interior, and so we're essentially like a one stop shop. Like I can, if you are an account that looks at me and says, "I will have work for you every single time you come here, and you will stay busy, and they want everything," I'll make that happen, kind of thing. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, we even do wheels as well. I mean, we have a whole wheel trailer, everything. And right now we have one, two, four techs, not including me, We have 4 techs, and we also have a guy out in New Jersey as well who we have a branch out there that does the exact same thing.
Okay.
So we're a pretty large company, but this is all family, like a family-based company. I mean, we're this. There's no.
So was it like a franchise that he bought, or?
No, no. So it wasn't even a franchise. Like, so this guy, it was a newspaper ad, like in 2006, newspaper ad. And Silas, who owns the business, he he decides what he was doing at the time. He was like, you know what, I want to do something. I want to do something different. And so he saw this in the newspaper ad and was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a chance. And Silas is always he's a businessman. I mean, like big time. I learned so much from him business aspect wise, because he will take chances on things where I'm just like, dude, I don't know about this, and he's like, no, come on, that's all a part of business. You have to do this. You have to do this. And I mean, like the guy, there was 3 accounts. That's all the guy had was 3 accounts. And now we have over 200. Now we have over 200 accounts and counting. And I think we have 5 vans in Pennsylvania and then 6 vans in New Jersey. And so, I mean, like we are a really growing company, and we want to continue to grow, because I mean, there's so much work out there. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're still real young in the dent aspect of it. I'm probably I oversee a lot of like I'm the guy that he sends where it's, hey, this fender's caved in. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's me. I'm like,
yeah.
They're like, hey, I got a dent for you, and I get there, and it fell off a car carrier, and they're like, hey, hey, you know what the good thing with big damage is? Like I said before, the technology's out there,
Right.
and I've learned even damage that's struggling for me, that really it's hard for me. Every time I do it, I learn something new. It's a constant learning game. I explain to somebody all the time. They're like, well, it's just a dent the size of a quarter. And I'm like, what kind of vehicle is it?
Yeah.
Is it in the brace? Is it on a body line? Is it laminated glass? Is it, and people, they're like, well, it's just a dent the size of a quarter. I'm like, there's so many variables. Nothing's the same. It's not like an average dent, or I'll get questions at a lot of my accounts. They'll see stuff online that I'll post, and they're like, there's no way you fix that. But you couldn't fix this other dent that the paint was missing and the edges rolled completely over and the door won't shut. So, you get that stuff to where you're never going to stop learning. You know what I mean? It's
absolutely. I mean, that's what I love about the industry is, so every day, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Every day that you wake up, Ryan, there's something new and there's something different. It's never the same that it was yesterday. Am I correct, or am I wrong?
You're very correct. Either their personality, customer, or the job.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's where my thing is, it leaves a challenge. And that's what I love about PDR. And I'm the knucklehead who I compete with a lot of different guys because I'm so young at this. I'm a young PDR tech where I have a lot of competition. I compete, and I counted the one day I compete against 14 different companies.
I've got to get you hooked up with Gene Fetty. Gene Fetty's out of Pittsburgh. I've got to get you hooked up. He is just a super awesome guy that will help anybody. Yeah. And just a genuine guy. Gene Fetty is just a good dude. He owns, I think it's Dent Repair now.
Okay.
Just a really, really good dude. So I'll get you 2 hooked up since you're kind of in that area.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I compete against a lot of guys who well, all right. So I got a little story. So this one guy, he works for a company. I won't name the company, just out of respect. But I was at his lot, and he saw me doing PDR and things like that, and he would give me that death glare over the whole entire lot. You know what I mean? Like that stare kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do my job. They called me. Obviously they didn't call him. I'm going to be here. I'm going to do this. And I'm doing the dent. And my thing is I throw my headphones in and I just focus. I really, really drone in. It was a bad dent. It was the whole entire door. And he comes up behind me, and I had my headphones in. He comes up behind me, and I literally almost like crap myself because the guy like was like, "What are you doing here at my lot?" Just reaming into me, and I mean hardcore. And he had a tri-pick in his hand, and I'm like, "Dude, what you need to relax." And he's like, "I'm right here," just like yelling in my face. I'm like, you need to take a few steps back, because that's a good way to like end what you're doing. Because I mean, I'm sorry, if you want the account that bad that you're gonna put a tri-pick through me,
You can have it.
literally, right? But I was taught in school to, the guys who show you respect, keep them close, because then you can control the market.
I think any of your competitors you should try to, at least have a relationship with. And it's hard because I have some competitors that are not fond of me. So it's hard to do, but I've always learned you sometimes get farther when you work together. So if you can, I always do. I'll walk up to a guy and be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Ryan. I'm working at the lot next door," and just talk. But some guys are still like, "Nope, don't come over here." You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no,
it's
for
just
sure.
a business.
Exactly. And that's my thing, is that these guys, they're older. And I mean, like I mean, not all of them are really old, but a lot of them they're older, and dude, they take this stuff serious.
Yeah.
And they're like that old guy who like, "No, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. You're my competitor."
Yeah, he's
That's
still
how
using
it
a
is.
fluorescent light with a piece of electrical tape on it with a wheelbarrow or something. I mean, I'm like, come
Right.
on, man. There's so
Because
much technology out there.
the same guy who was coming at me and was all ticked off I was at his lot, is the same guy who was looking at my light the next week. I look over, he has the exact same light that I have.
Of course he does. Of course.
And I'm thinking to myself, man, come on. And like, he doesn't care. He goes in and he pushes the dent. He makes the dent look different. He doesn't make it go away. He makes the dent look different. But he has such a hard relationship, which is fine. I mean, like, you know what? I respect that. You have a good relationship, but that won't last forever. You know what I mean?
It's sometimes relationships do take over. I mean, I have some accounts that I share with another tech that he's been in there 18 years and all he fixes is this.
Yeah.
But I'm charging 3 times the amount he's charging. So, sometimes relationship is a big factor, but sometimes if you're just fixing the big stuff, you know what I mean? You're gonna take it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, so I mean, like I've had a long, hard grind. I mean,
Listen
man,
to that long, hard grind, 1.5 years, long, hard grind.
well, so whenever I say that, I have nobody, and I repeat, nobody to compare on, "Hey, Aaron, this is how you go get this, and this is how you go
Oh
do this."
no. Yeah,
Kind of
you're just learning. You're learning on the fly. You know what I mean?
exactly. And so whenever I say long, hard grind, I don't mean that in the fact I've been doing this for
Oh
20,
no.
20
You're
years.
just hitting the streets and really trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And so whenever, I mean, like I've had where dealership, there was a dent that literally a dude jumped up on the roof and was dancing on it, and he's denting like, oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, the dent was jacked up, and I looked at him and I said, "I can't do this." And he looked at me, he said, and this was a really big account for me, and I mean huge. And he said, "No, I need you to do it. I need to see what you can do. Please." He's like pushing me to do it, kind of thing. And I'm like, "All right, that's fine, but I can't guarantee what this is gonna come out to be like, right?" And I ended up losing that account, but that right there gave me a drive in the aspect of where, you know what, that wasn't my fault that I lost that account. That guy either, I don't know. I really don't. I did my best that I possibly could. I mean, a dude was up on the roof dancing. You tell me how bad the dent was.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what I did was, I mean, I hustled, and I can show you a stack. And I mean, I kid you not, the stack is probably about 3 inches thick that I went and I've gone to every
Yes.
single major dealership in Pittsburgh and around my area, and everybody knows about me. And so now it's got to a point where I've done free demos for them. And I said, hey, you know what? Let me do it for free. I'm not even going to charge you.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you get past the, hey, I do dents, and oh, I already have a guy, and he's the best in the world. He can pop any dent out or whatever. As soon as you get that past that and say, I will do this for free, and if you let me do it and let me show you what I can do, I'll never come back to your lot again. Like I won't. I'm just, that's all there is to it. And whenever I've done that, I've gotten that account,
Of course.
and they drop the other guy.
Of course.
So I mean,
I think a lot of that is your eagerness to do it for free. It's not always about the dollar.
no,
And the other thing is, a lot of these managers have had some of these older dogs that they think is the best dent guy in the world,
yep,
and they really don't know what's out there.
Yep.
And what you're doing is you're opening up that door. The hardest part when you're cold calling, and I hate to say this, but I love cold calling. I feed off of every day coming home with a shoe in my mouth because I've been getting kicked in the face since 8 o'clock in the morning.
yep,
I remember when I first started this RPS thing, and I was banging on doors, and there were some times I came home and I looked at my wife and I said, I don't know if I made the right decision, because it beats your confidence down. But
oh yeah,
the hardest part with cold calling is the part of getting past the girl at the front desk, getting one-on-one with the manager, and just trying to have a real conversation, not even about dent work.
right,
You look at your surroundings and you try to figure a way to start a physical conversation with these guys,
Yep.
and you get past the dent work. Start on that type of conversation and then work into, let me do a demo for you. I'll do it
Yeah.
for free. I already walked your lot. There's a Civic out there with a busted fender. I'm going to fix it. And if it takes you 5 hours, a lot of times on those jobs, I'll take longer just so it looks like I'm struggling and it's really hard and I'm putting everything into it.
Yeah.
Just a mental game on their end. So, it stinks. It's hard when you're trying to grow a route and trying to get out there and just build your business. It's tough, man, because everybody's got a guy. If you go on an account and think that they don't have a dent guy, you're fooling yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And if you have an account and you don't think dent guys are knocking on the doors every single day, you're wrong too.
Yep.
So, but keep going.
So so after school, after going out there and grinding, and after going out and going to every single dealership, I started to essentially create a name for myself, because I not only how do I put this? I not only sold the fact that I'll do dents for you, but I also do, like I said, the other stuff on top of that. And so I'm more versatile. So
of course,
the way that I do it is in the fact, like, I'll walk in and I said, hey, this is what I do my whole spiel. And then they say, no, I'm good. I say, hey, I'll do this for free. And you hand them a list. And my big thing is that you go out, you walk the lot before you go into the dealership, and you talk to the guy. And you say, hey, this, and boom, just put it out there. And I've literally had people grab my list that I have, drop it on the floor and say, nope, I'm good. And then turn right around and watch me pick it up off the ground and watch me walk back out.
Of course.
That's hard to swallow.
I think the worst is when you walk in and you give them your card and they're like, yeah, I got a guy. Dink, right in the trash can right in front of you. And you're like,
yep.
Did this guy really just disrespect me like that? You
don't
have to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
So, but one thing I have learned on some of those, when you really just want to tell this guy how you feel and go at it that way.
Yeah.
What I've learned is you never know where these guys are going to pop up. So
Yep.
you can have a dealership account and you're rocking and rolling, and George walks in that threw your card in the trash that has his best friend that is the dent guy. You never know,
Yep.
so.
Yep. But so like I said, I knocked on so many doors, got so many doors slammed in my face, and I mean, and the next day, my big thing is it's a new day. There's new challenges. Don't worry about tomorrow or you don't worry about yesterday for yesterday had its own problems. Today's a new day. Let's start fresh.
Mhm.
So let's go out there and let's grind. And everybody asks me, "Hey, how you doing, Aaron?" And I tell them I'm living the dream because at the end of the day, I lived the dream because my senior year in high school, I said, God, I want to do something. I want to do something with cars, but I don't want to be a grease monkey. And that's no offense to anybody who's a mechanic. No offense. And I was working construction at the time, and I had no clue how that was going to fit in. But here I am 3 years later. I get to touch every kind of car that you can imagine at the end, and I've worked on a lot of just like higher end cars and things like that. That it's a blessing. It really is. Um, but to prolong, so I got my accounts, and I got the accounts that right now are like I've had for a year and a half ever since I got
Mhm.
them. And there was this one guy who I kind of took me underneath his wing because I showed him how eager I was to work for him and how bad I wanted to do a great job for him, and not just like okay job. Everything that I did, I wanted to make sure it was 110% and he was happy with it. And I grabbed him, even as busy as he was. I said, "Come out and look at this." And now it's got to a point to where I call him, I shoot him a text to the list. He says, "Do whatever you want."
Mhm.
Literally. And he started a new dealership, and he took me with him. He said, "Aaron, I want you to come with me." And I went with him. And I said, "Why are you choosing me over these other guys that you've had for a long time?" He said, "Because I see your eagerness to hustle and want it."
Mhm.
And that right there, kind of as a manager saying that, he's had a guy for 5 6 years, and he's dealt with the same guy, but he's
Mhm.
not eager for it. He's not
And
hungry for it.
and we all fall into that. We all get complacent
Yep.
and walk a lot. And, I'll wait till next week on that. I don't feel like, I've got 8 cars written up. This thing's smashed. We'll deal with that another day. So we all get complacent, and it's hard. I mean, there's plenty of times I've been complacent, but like I said before, there's always somebody knocking on the door that wants to do that dent for free. So
Right.
in the back of your head, you need to keep that
And
fresh.
and that's my thing is that whenever I walk a lot, I will pick the nastiest thing that's sitting out there, even if it's like a 2005, and
Hmm.
the guy's not going to keep it, but
Hmm.
he knows what it looks like.
Yeah,
You write that sucker down and you say, "Hey man, I can make this look better. I can't make this a sheet of glass, but I know I can make it look better."
that's all they want.
Exactly. But if they knew that you were the guy who you come back with the easy stuff, because they appraise all this stuff, they see everything.
Oh yeah, they
And
know what they have.
oh yeah, and they know that there's that one sitting out there, but you won't touch it. He's gonna start getting a taste in his mouth, and the fact that like, this guy, he's only doing the gravy work, and he's only doing the easy stuff. That's
Hmm.
not gonna fly. That may fly for a little bit, but then you'll have another guy because somebody's always out there to eat your lunch.
Yep.
That's all there is to it.
Yep. So what's your struggles right now? So in your everyday business, going through, and you're like, man, I'm trying on this hurdle. I'm having trouble getting over it. What do you have going on? See if this community of 20 some people can help. You know what I mean, or just fill in.
So, my struggle is number one now, since I have at the beginning I hustled really, really hard. Getting off my phone to actually do the work from everybody else saying, "Hey, I need you here, I need you there." And getting that large stuff that I have that I know that I haven't been doing this long enough to really glass this out, but they asked me to do it, to get it to look to that perfection to where it looks like the stuff that you do on. And I compare whenever I come home every night, I watch your guys' videos. I watch, no, seriously, I watch everybody's videos because I compare the work that I did that day to what you did that day,
Hmm.
or that time that you did that large dent, being like, Aaron, there was still a little bit more that you could have done. Spend a little bit more time doing this, a little bit doing that. Move your light here, move your light there. And so my struggle is getting my large dent stuff.
And that comes with time.
Right.
It really does. It comes with technique, time, and just a lot of it on that larger stuff is just how do you approach it?
Right.
When I look at a big dent, when I've got a big smash, and I had some really terrible stuff today, and you look at some of this stuff, I'll look at it for 5 or 10 minutes. And Shane steps over my shoulder and he's like, "Everything okay? Everything okay?" "Yeah, everything's fine. What I'm trying to do is read what's going on in this dent."
Oh yeah.
I've learned over the years how metal works, and that's some of the battle. And that's a lot of dent guys out there still don't know, and that comes with time. But what metal does when it's impacted, where we call them crowns, a lot of body guys call them bunches, and
right.
and where it's mounded up, or you've got a crown so far away that you don't even see it, but it's part of the damage.
Right.
Feeling the damage. So when you're in there just trying to make a push, feeling, is it spongy? Is it reacting weird? Okay, if it is, okay, there's a crown somewhere. Let's work on that. Or a lot of that is just the confidence of saying, I got that.
Well, I've done, like I said, I've done a lot of bad stuff. And don't get me wrong, I am not going to sit here and say, oh, hey, everything that I've done, it's always come out to be great. Not at all. I mean, I am not going to sit here and bullcrap you guys. There's some stuff, large dents that I've done where it's like, that looks like absolute sin. Like, you shouldn't.
I still get stuff. There's still stuff that we're taking on. It's technically collision damage. It's not even dent repair. It's collision damage.
Right.
So Dwayne on here, he says, I like this guy. He said, I've never heard of him before. So how I ran into Aaron was just Instagram. And Shane will be driving and I'll just finally get on social media and he would just talk through his repairs. I'm using this tab. I'm using the Dent Reaper to fix the upper part of this door. Just kind of walking through his repairs. And I'm like, man, this kid's really trying, and that's kind of like I had Mike from Heavenly Hail Repair and just guys that are in the industry that are just trying to get better and trying to help the industry and help, like my guy Shane or James Brown or any of these guys that are trying to learn, just trying to put some information out there. So that's how I ran into Aaron. I think he was a watcher of the other show that I was on. And, so I reached out and was like, hey, we've talked a couple times on the phone and just said, hey, would you be interested in coming on the show? So, it's the good thing is you guys are very lucky to have that type of network of guys in this industry, of guys reaching out or hey, sending me messages. I'll get messages every day from guys all over the place. I talked to a guy yesterday from British Columbia. You know what I mean? So it's crazy that the outreach of people that want to help each other to make the industry better.
And I wouldn't even say like the technology. It's honestly a blessing because like me on attacking large dents, if it wasn't for the videos that you guys posted on YouTube and Dent Trainer, I would not attack large dents. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
You can ask Silas. Whenever we were at school, we watched some videos of some large dent repair. I looked at him and I said, not a chance in heck. Not a chance in heck am I touching that. No way. But then I jump on YouTube and I see Ryan, and Ryan's just like, yeah, this was just sideswiped. I'm going to fix it. And I'm like, what? Like,
hey, I'll tell you, a very impressed person for me is like a Bryce Kelly. Some of the repairs he's doing, I'm not fixing them. And every situation's different. So I always say a lot of it's time restrictive. If you're busy, it sounds like you're busy kind of like I am, to where every hour counts, every minute counts of every day. And you were just grinding it out and you get this smash and you're like, there's no way I can spend 3 hours on this.
Right.
But you've kind of in a predicament and you have to. So you set it up to where you can come back or come back later in the evening. Or so when you have the time to sit back and do one car a day, and I've had some to where I've had a really bad car, I'll schedule nothing else. I've got nothing open but this car
Mm-hmm.
and spend all day on it. And it's super great because you have very little stress. And that, for me personally, it's tough because the stress affects me. You know what I mean?
Oh
The
yeah.
stress when you've got
Oh,
the phone
yeah.
ringing, you've got 5 other stops, you're trying to work on this busted car.
Yep.
The stress just makes the dent so much more difficult.
Yeah, and that's like for instance, I have a dealership. This guy, really great manager. I mean, I awesome guy. He was driving a demo. It got sideswiped. He called me. He said, "I got a bad dent." My heart dropped because whenever he says he has a bad dent, it's a bad dent. The body shop quoted him $6,000 for both doors to be replaced. They weren't even going to mud them. They weren't going to pull them out. Nothing. They were going to replace them, put new on, done. And he's like, "Aaron, I need you to do this." I took 2 days and I spent on it. He took it to the auction. He only lost $200 off of it. This is a brand new car. He lost $200. And so forever, like, and after I did that, he calls me up and he's like, "Aaron, I owe you one." And so those times that you take those 2 days to do that really bad dent for somebody will pay off because the day that he said, the day that you walk in there, the next day you walk in there, he's going to be like, "Just walk the lot, whatever you want to do, just do it." Because you've taken the time and you showed him that you will do the bad stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's how bad you want it. You know,
Oh,
there was a point
for sure.
in my business when I was really trying to grow RPS that it just clicked.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I want to be that guy that can fix everything.
Yep.
I want to be the idiot in town that says yes to every single thing that is thrown to me.
Yeah.
So the industry's changed. You know, it's not quarter dings and nickels and dimes. It's
I wish that's all it
all day
was.
long.
I
Yeah.
wish, man, because you'd be making change all day long. We blow right through it.
Yeah.
Because
So
I remember at school, Marty said dents that we were taking like 3-4 hours to like get this thing like glassed out. He looked at us and said, "You'll have this dent done in 30 seconds in 6 months." And I looked at Marty. I'm like, "Dude, there's no way." He's like, "There's no way." And now you look at a dollar sized dent, and you're like, "All right, I got this."
And technology's helper. I mean, I remember glue pulling with Worth tabs, and you probably don't even know
Nope.
what Worth glue tabs are.
Nope.
I'll post one tomorrow. I've got it. I've got 2 in my glue card. I use the beta card. I've got 2 in there just as good luck charms or something. I don't know if they're good luck, but these weird oval nasty tabs to where we used to cut to make it look like a crease or a circle. They were terrible. It was terrible. You guys have all these nice tabs.
Oh yeah, I got different
tabs,
colors
black,
and everything, man.
You know, so the technology's definitely come. There's someone commented in here about LED boards. It's like HD television.
Oh yeah.
We've got Matt in here also from Get a Grip. So if you guys don't have one of those strong arms or Get a Grip arms, you've got to get one. Do you have one?
I don't have one as of now. As of now, I don't have one. But
You've
I
gotta buy
assure you, I assure you, as soon as I get one, I'll be tagging him. I'll be tagging you.
Let me tell
Everybody
you.
will see it.
You've got to get one. The XL is what I use daily. Game changer.
Really? Yeah, no, for sure.
You know, I'm a big heat guy. Do you use heat?
Oh, all day, every day.
Yeah.
All day, every day.
I mean,
and
sometimes I get lazy and I just use a torch. You know, so
I hope Marty's not on here watching this. Yeah, so Marty, he looked at us and he said, if I catch you guys using a torch, you'll be getting a call from me.
See, I'm old school though.
Oh no, for sure. And literally, like, I'll every once in a while like grab a torch, and my guys who like I've trained, like Tim, I guarantee you Tim's watching right now. So Tim, he'll see me grab that torch and he said, "Don't worry, I'm looking the other way. I won't tell anybody." And I'll grab it real quick and I'll just heat it up and then go after it. But no, for sure. I mean, even today I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee that I did a dent that literally a softball hit it the night before. And I mean, I hope all you know this. You all should know this, but aluminum will shrink up to 1/3 of the size of what whenever you put heat on it, it'll start to shrink. And so as soon as you just let it soak in heat, you put your tool on that, dude, it was like jello. And then boom, I'm pushing. I guarantee you I probably didn't push more than 20, 30 times. And boom, the dent's glassed out and it's done. And so
what is one of your favorite tools? Or what is do you have a new tool that came out?
I don't have a new tool that came out, but Tim doesn't understand how I use it, but it's from Blem. And so I'll show you guys the end on it.
Great tool.
I love it.
Yeah.
And so the thing about this tool is that it bends like crazy. And I mean, like I can bend this thing hard, but it does not stay bent kind of thing. And what I like about it, if you guys look at it, so the end is almost like a knife. It's almost like a butter knife. And so my thing is I'll go in there and I'll roll it on the dent to where it gets sharp, but at first it's blunt. And so I can watch that dent almost genuinely just start to come up, and it's awesome. And then I have one other one. This is from Finesse. So it's the interchangeable tip. And this is what I use on all my large dent whenever I have access, everything like that. And my favorite tip for it, what I did is that I'll show you guys here. What I did is I took a rubber ball that goes on your tap downs and I put it over the metal interchangeable tip. And this way I can push.
Is that a cherry tip from Dentcraft?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so you have to heat these up to properly get these on there. If you don't, they'll tear. And so you have to heat these up with your heat gun.
Have you tried an R4?
No.
So a Dentcraft R4, that's that little red cherry tip is made for that. It literally will snap on and stay on there.
Okay.
You got to check it out.
Yeah. But no, I mean that's what I do a lot of my large dent, get it pulled up, and then like I said, I'll get a sharper one in there and glass it out kind of thing. But no, I mean those two I could do a lot of dents with just those tools. Just those ones. And I mean, like, and I know every tech has them where there's those go-to tools that you have where it's like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm using. I mean, it's just, I love it. I really do. I really love them.
Now, do you like sharp tip tools? Do you like more screw-on tip? What is your preference?
So my thing is like, it depends on the dent. Like, I don't have honestly, and you can't. I don't think you can really put a pin on like I'm gonna use this tool all the time, no matter what.
You're not gonna be able to fix it if you do.
No, not at all. And so I mean, I use a lot of grapher's tape on my regular door tool because my thing is I like sharp tips. They're great, but that's just like my finish work. But I can get a lot of sharp stuff up with just like grapher's tape on and go after it. There's quite a few tools that I want to get, but my Christmas list is getting long.
What's on the wish list? What's on the wish list?
Oh, what's on the wish list?
Your number one right now that you like, man, I really want this tool.
So the what's not the pirate hook? No, I can't remember what the name of that is, but it's like I can't remember who makes it, but it's rounded on the edge. It's like for inner fender wells, essentially.
The Stanliner whale, the whale, killer whale.
Yep, Stanliner killer whale.
Okay.
But yeah, no, my wish list. I mean, like
What's next? Give me another one.
So that one, and then the Dent Reaper.
One of these little Reaper.
No.
The middle size Reaper.
Yeah, the middle size Reaper.
Or the beast of the Reapers.
Is that like so? Is that super sharp, or does that have like a?
Oh no, these will put a hole in the panel.
Because all right, I want to make sure. I don't think these are the Reapers.
Well, the good thing is we have John.
That's
from
not
the Dent
a Reaper. Right?
Let me see the whole tool.
It's from N1. Is that a Reaper? But I mean, this is stupid sharp.
It could be. The end looks a little different. I've got John in here on the chat. He's
All right,
the
John,
actual Dent Reaper.
you got to tell me if this is your Dent Reaper or not, because
Yeah.
I use this a lot, but it's not like my go-to. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like crazy.
Well, I've got good news for you. I'm gonna announce this right now. Next week on my live show, I'm giving away a Dent Reaper.
Ooh.
So, you guys are gonna get one of these Dent Reapers. Not sure which one, but we'll have to figure it out. And John was good enough to donate. I'm actually super excited to use this one. This is the longer one. It's crazy thick. And I'm going to put John Hiley's new handle on this tomorrow. And I'm going to try to push some holes in some metal tomorrow. It's going to be my holiday weekend of putting holes in stuff. So,
yeah, I mean,
he says it's not a Reaper.
it's not, I didn't think it was. I mean, they're similar, but they're not.
Yeah. The end looks different, and the flag looks a little different to me.
Yeah. But no, I mean, here's my thing. If there's anybody on here that is young into PDR, the best advice that I could probably give you is that never back down whenever a manager is telling you or anybody's telling you, hey, all I want you to do is give it a shot. And every night, whenever you lay your head on your pillow, make sure that you hustled and grinded 110%, because the day that you start doing that, 4 years down the road, you'll look back and be like, I am so glad that I did that. And I'm not saying that I'm speaking that from experience. I'm saying that because I've had a lot of mentors in my life that said, do what you love, not what makes you a lot of money, and work hard at it. And that's my thing, is just like always
it's kind of crazy what we do for a living and make pretty good money. I was talking to Mike Toledo yesterday, and we were just talking, and I said, it doesn't feel like a job every day.
Nope.
It's like I walk into some of my accounts, and I have really, really good, great relationships with a lot of my accounts. And these guys, I mean, I've known 15 years. You know what I mean? They're like family. Today we were at a shop, and he was like, "You want to go to lunch?" And I'm like, "Sure." And we're just sitting there talking family stuff, and what are we doing for the holiday? We're not even talking money, business, anything. And there's not many jobs that you can get a $900 check for the day's worth of work and go eat lunch with them, and it's not a major ordeal. So we're very lucky in this industry to be able to enjoy it. We're outside, right. We're not stuck in a cubicle.
Yep.
We all have to deal with the customer, but that's part of the job.
No, for sure. I mean, and it's my thing is that if you decide that you are, and this is my personal opinion, opinion, if you decide that all you want to do is just nothing but door dings, I'm sorry, man, but like that hurts me, because then
get a job working for a dealership.
Yeah, no, for real. Because then it hurts me, because there's so much more potential than what you really know. Because my thing is I look up to you guys on in like videos and things like that, to where it's like, dude, like I have so much more room to grow. Like I gotta start going.
You're just starting, young grasshopper. You're just starting.
And like my thing is, like, there's those times where I feel like, oh, Aaron, yeah, hey, you did a great job on that dent. That looked great. And then I jump online and I start going through my social media on my dent Instagram and things like that. And I'm seeing what other people are doing. I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, don't be yourself up. Like, you have a long way to go, bro. And it's humbling. It's humbling because, and I want to thank you for honestly, you, Ryan, because and anybody else who like takes on the stuff that you guys do, because it sets a playing field to where I don't compare myself to the people who are around me. I compare myself to like Mike Toledo, RPS Dents, Dentless Touch. I mean, all those guys. I mean, they do really good work, and it shows. I mean, things are growing, things are moving, and that's awesome. And I want
Yeah.
that to happen in my business, in our
Yeah.
business. And if you want that to happen, you can't be complacent. And so if you want to just fix door dings and do simple stuff, go work at a dealership, and I don't know, just it just kind of hurts, you know what I mean? Because
Well,
you gotta take the
you've
good with the
always
bad.
and I've said this before in other shows. You There's different types of dent guys.
Yep.
So there's the lot lizards. There's the the retail guy that does nothing but sits in a retail location and does retail. You have a hail chaser. You have the guy
Yep.
that kind of like me that's a dabbler to where I do retail, body shop, maybe a dealer here or there.
Hmm.
So there's so many different types of guys. There's a smash guy, the guy that's fixing this terrible stuff all day long.
Yep.
The good
And
thing is the industry's changing and growing and getting larger damage and faster repairs, and there's so many opportunities. I mean, like I said before, there's so many tools. I would have loved to have a tool that was this sharp, and I'm a sharp tool guy.
really,
I use sharp tools all day long, all day long. So if this stuff was out, you guys can learn. So this is my 18th year.
okay.
You guys can learn in half the time that I learned, just because
Oh,
of the technology and the
for sure,
information that's out there.
for sure. No, I mean it. And that's my thing where I didn't go to college. I
Hmm.
didn't I didn't go to college. I wasn't that type of kid, and I had people looking at me, and people who were really close to me. Dude, you need to go to college. You need to go to some kind of school. And I did, per se. I mean, it's not like a typical like trade school or anything like that, but I have people that I know who made fun of me for not going to college. And I looked at them after I knew what I was doing and getting into, and they looked at me and they said, "I'm going to be making more money than you, and you're not going to be successful. You don't know how that works, blah 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 blah, and all that jazz." And I said, "You know what? Everything I'm going to do, I'm going to bust my butt. I'm going to work hard at it."
Hmm. And you know
And
what? I don't even. I'm at a point now that I'm just. You get to a point. It's not even about the money.
no,
You just want to take care of the customer. I want to
well,
have that guy for the next 30 years.
yeah, because there's people who are going to come back if you, because like number one, like you guys were talking about last week. Today, for instance, I was doing a dent, and the guy was so interested about what I was doing.
Hmm.
And I know people who are too nervous to talk to them, and they just want to get the dent done, and they're watching me. I don't know if I'm going to do something wrong. They just need to focus and relax and just do the dent. But this guy was so curious on, like, he was like, wow, like, man, I see how you put this board up there. And he said, this is an art. And he's like so
Hmm.
excited. And he was kind of sharing the same passion that I do about it, in the fact being like, yeah, like this is cool that I can take something that's concaved and bring it back up, and it looks essentially back to new. And you didn't have to get it repainted, and it was fixed that day. I mean, you can't beat it. And like I think, like what you guys were talking about last week, breaking things down for people and
Hmm.
explaining them that this isn't just like, this dent isn't like, oh, it's just magically going to pop out. Some pop out a lot, but where the crowns were, no,
Hmm.
that's not going to pop out. You have to move that. And
I think I've always learned. So if you go to college, who are you learning from?
I mean,
You're learning from the teacher.
right.
And I've always learned that people want to hear from the teacher, and you take that in the back of your mind. And when you're explaining it to a customer how you're going to repair their dent, okay, I'm
Right.
going to put a window guard here. I'm going to put a wedge in here. I use a reflective board. I'm
Yep.
going to go in. I'm going to slowly push the dent out. And they don't even know that you're pushing the dent out from the inside.
Nope.
So, they think it's this vacuum suction or a plunger or hot water. I hear it daily. So the education part of it, and it's me personally, I try to bring in experience,
Hmm.
not just the repair. You're getting your oil changed. You want to bring that complete experience to them to where they're going to come back,
Oh, absolutely.
So how can people find you on social media?
So at drdentauto.com, that's my website, and then Dr. Dent Auto is my Instagram tag. Please go on there and follow, because again, like I love to break things down for people, because I'm a big, like, I'll shut my mouth and I will listen to you if you know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
And I will listen to you and I'll absorb so much information. You'll get annoyed from me constantly being like, well, what about this? Well, how would you do this? How would you do that? And
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be able to help the individuals who are new at this and they haven't gone
Mhm.
out to their first gravel lot and hustling and going after it. Because the sooner you take that step and you go after it, the better off you're going to be. And so if I can help you saying, hey, I've been doing this a year and a half and I've done some stuff that I've been like, yeah, Ryan, hey Ryan, and I call you up and I'm like,
Yeah.
just the other day, did I not?
Yeah.
The other
Yeah, you
day,
did.
I was like, yo, bro, I just said I'm gonna do this dent on this back of this Challenger. How do I do this?
Yeah.
How do I get access to this?
Yeah.
And so and so with that being said, I mean, and you answered my call and you're like, hey man, drop that tail light, boom, you're in there. And that's what happened. I was able to glass it out. And so I think we can all help each other out by social media and shooting a text, shooting a picture saying, hey brother, I was thinking about going about it like this. Well, you would probably do something way different than the way I would do it. And I think that's what's really cool about social media and about like Instagram and things like that. I love doing step by steps. That's like my favorite
Yeah, if
because
you get on there, he's always explaining what tools he's using,
you're
how
making
he's
me blush.
approaching it. Hey, how old are you? Dwayne's asking how old you are. Push and polish.
I I was born in '99, so
Young bucks, man. Man, what I would do to be young again. Holy
I'm
schmauzers.
20 years old. 20
Look at
years old.
that.
So um, still have tons to learn, tons and tons to learn. So my thing is, if there's anybody on there who's watching this who is like, hey man, um, come down, come take a look at this, come take a look at how I do this, how I do that. I would be more than welcome to like and to drive to you and be like, how do you run this? Just to not in the aspect like I want to learn. I have such a passion about this, and for you guys, I mean, how long you been doing this, Ryan? I mean, you've been doing this what
18 years.
18 years. So I wasn't even born, and
Yeah.
you've been doing this. And
Yeah.
so my thing is like, if you guys are still doing this and you have a passion about it, then you also have a passion of teaching somebody who
Of
has a
course.
passion about it.
Of course.
And so my thing is like I did my first hail car just the other day, and it was no problem. I mean, I glassed everything out, everything looked great, but I would love to get into more of that.
Mhm.
And because I'm not married, I could jump on a plane tomorrow and be wherever you say, "Hey, Aaron, I need a hand here." I'm there, kind of thing.
Don't
Um,
say that because your phone's gonna be ringing. You're gonna be like, "What?"
hey, I'm all right with that, man. That's how
Mhm.
young I am at this, and that's how hungry I am. I'm
Nothing wrong
like,
with that.
I'm that hungry. Now, I guarantee you, there will be a day where it's like, "Don't call me for hail," click, and then like, "Don't call me back," kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I think at the age that I'm at right now, if I take the advantage and be smart at the age that I'm at, my joints aren't hurting me. Just before we got on here, Ryan, you were like,
Yeah, I'm
"Dang
hurting.
man, my wrist is hurting me.
I'm
This is
hurting
hurting
today.
me."
I'm heat
And
padding it tonight, boys. Heat padding it.
that icy hot, right?
Beignet. Beignet
Ben
tonight. So
Ben Gay. Um,
so get on his Instagram. It's always some really, really good information. Um,
please.
you know, uh And like I said, for next week, we're doing a giveaway. I'll announce how we're going to do the giveaway. I'm going to try to keep doing these different every week. Like I said, John was super grateful to, donate the giveaway for next week. So get
That's
on
awesome.
there next week and see if you can win one of these Dent Reapers. Can't go wrong with the Reaper.
Yeah, buddy.
I really appreciate you coming on, man. It was
For
a
sure.
really, really good show and really good information. I wanted to get the young guy in there and kind of explain his trials and what he's trying to do and that's the main reason I did this show, was to get the old guys, the tool manufacturers. How did the Dent Reaper come up with the Dent Reaper? How did John say, this is what I want to make? I want to make it this size, this shape. What made him get to that point? You know, your story. How did you get started? What your trials are right now that you're struggling? You know, I mean, how did Matt from Get a Grip come up with the mounts that he has, the strong arms, that's the type of stuff that we don't know. There's still information I don't know. I talked to John the other day, and I was like, hey, how did you come up with this? Or what made you do that? And, you know, his story is unique. So I really appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. It was an honor. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Get on his Instagram, check him out. And thanks for joining me, guys. And remember, guys, keep it real. See you next time.